I'm currently 2 months pregnant, but my mother-in-law has clearly stated she is not happy for me and hates that I'm pregnant. She's been coming over a lot to cook for us, but I haven't been eating her food. Not because I don't like it, I've just in a lot of pain and very nauseous. But she's always complaining about it. I've been taking a lot of vitamins for my pregnancy, and when my mother-in-law asked, I didn't think much of it. This past Sunday, she came into our house and stayed for hours. Everywhere I go, I see her looking for something. I ask what she's looking for, but she doesn't say what, so I walk away and give her privacy. The past few days, I've had really bad abdominal pain, upset stomach, headache, and nausea. So when I called my doctor, she asked if I was taking anything, and I said yes, vitamins. She asked me to bring them in. That's when she told me it wasn't vitamins, it was actually aspirin. I knew right away my mother-in-law was the one who switched them out. I can't believe it. My mother-in-law made me feel so sick, and I almost miscarried if I didn't go see a doctor. I told my husband, and he confronted his mom. She completely denied it and said she would never do anything to harm her unborn grandbaby. It's so clear that she replaced my vitamins and she's lying about it. I'm so upset and I feel like I'm not being safe with her. I have no trust and I want her out of my life. But my husband says we have no proof.
I don't trust my girlfriend. We've been together for a little over a year, and I'll start by saying that she's told me that she's cheated multiple times in previous relationships and has been the type to line up the next guy, as they say. She's also told me that she took time to work on herself and she's not the type of person anymore. And at first I was okay with it, despite raising a minor red flag in my head. I'm trying not to hold her to her past mistakes, but recently it's really been weighing heavy on me. She works in an office setting and her team recently hired a new guy. She's been talking to him and about him a lot lately. She told me that another female coworker made a comment something along the lines of, "Ooh, so you and the new guy, eh?" Which made me feel uneasy as it implies that they act flirty together. I'm heavily considering the fact that maybe I'm just being insecure and might have some deeper trust issues, and if that is the case, I'm not sure how I can work on that issue while still being in a relationship with her. Any thoughts or advice? I just ended things with my girlfriend of over a year. We live together and have shared a lot of love and good times. She's very generous, loving, kind, shared responsibility pretty well around chores, and made me feel special with dates and gifts regularly. She helped me through some very hard times this year. I often thought that we'd be together forever. But something was missing, and our communication often felt off. She would easily become defensive to me, voicing feelings, needs, raise her voice or speak in an angry tone, sometimes even saying hurtful things that she didn't mean, sometimes shut down or even dismiss me for days. We went to therapy, and she made a lot of changes, but I still felt uneasy with her. I could never tell if she was responding to me in a patient way or a hostile way if I raised an issue. She seemed to think that I was asking for perfection and wanting her to watch her tone, listen, not get so reactive. She says that she's making it up that counts, not the conflict. She told me good luck finding someone who can do all of that for you. I feel hurt, and I'm doubting myself. I don't like my girlfriend's friends. We've dated for about 3.5 months. None of her friends are in relationships as of right now, yet they all make fun of her for dating me. They make fun of how skinny I am. They'll take screenshots of my Instagram posts and send them to their group chat just to make fun of me. Stuff like that. In fact, their group chat is where most of it goes down. My girlfriend has sent me screenshots of the group chat, and it kind of pisses me off because I've never even met half of these people, and they all already give her crap about me. For those who I have met, the exchanges have been polite, and I was as kind as I could be to them. I just don't know what I should do or how I should proceed. My girlfriend kind of just goes along with it and laughs too, and I think she thinks that it's funny. I just don't know how to approach it or how to really bring it up to her. A lot of her friends are socially awkward and avoid talking to me. She says that it's because they're intimidated by me, but really, there's no reason for them to be, so I'm starting to think that's a lie. I was seeing a girl in college, and we actually lived quite close to each other, so we'd seen each other a little bit over the summer. I'd been to her house, met her parents, etc. She went away on a trip with the college choir, and her phone wasn't going to work while she was away, so I decided to surprise her at the airport when she got back. You know, be all romantic and stuff. So I'm waiting at the airport arrivals lounge. I start to see a couple of faces I recognize from college filter through. She then walks through. I start to walk towards her, and I realize that she's holding hands with one of my high school friends that also went to my college and happened to go on the trip with her. I'm not stupid. I quickly realize what's going on, but by this point, her dad has already seen me, walked up to me, and started a conversation with me. By this point, I'm reasonably sure I'm going to implode, and it's too late to get away. She's here, he's here. It's just really awkward. She tells me that we need to talk, and I say that we probably don't need to bother and walk back to the coach station for my 3-hour bus ride home. Storytime, my girlfriend lied about her past with her male best friend. I've been with my girlfriend for about 4 months. It's been great so far, and I really do love her. She has a guy best friend who she talks to every day and sees pretty frequently. She mentioned that they traveled to Asia together for about a week a year ago, by themselves. I asked her several times in our relationship if they had any history together, and she strongly declined, telling me that she could only ever see him just as a friend. Fast forward to last night. In a group discussion, one of her friends had accidentally joked about the fact that her and her guy friend had actually been involved during that trip. I asked her about this, and she owned up by saying that they had a drunken encounter while traveling, and that was it. She says that she really thought she liked him at one point, but it was simply a result of the experiences that they shared on that trip. I talked to her about this and expressed how hurt I was. She said sorry and promised to make up for my lost trust. My problem is now trying to understand how I can move forward without feeling insecure or paranoid. Storytime. Is my food intolerance an allergy? I have a nightshade intolerance. In particular, potatoes, potato starch make me incredibly sick to my stomach. People tend to not take me seriously if I say I have an intolerance. I get sick even if my food is touching my fries or chips, yet sometimes waiters will ignore me and serve them anyways. For some reason, people think that an intolerance is a diet choice rather than an actual medical issue. As a result, I've started referring to it as an allergy when I go out to eat. On Friday, I was out to eat with some family friends when I mentioned to the waiter that I had a potato allergy. One family friend interrupted and said, "Oh, it's not an allergy. It's not like she'll die." Luckily, my mom was with us and immediately spoke up that while I might not die, I do get extremely sick, so it's important that I not be served anything with potatoes. Am I wrong for technically being dishonest and saying that I have an allergy so that people take my intolerance seriously? Storytime. Kicking out my brother's girlfriend. I've been married to my wife for 6 years and we have 3 children. I live and was born in the US, but my wife is from a different country and moved here 6 years ago. She speaks fluent English but does have an accent. A few months ago, my brother started dating his girlfriend, and since they live 6 hours away, we usually don't see each other. Yesterday, my brother and his girlfriend drove to my house intending on spending a day with us and to introduce his girlfriend. Back at the end of December, my wife's parents passed away, and it absolutely destroyed her, especially since she wasn't able to go to their funeral due to COVID. When they got here, my brother gave his condolences and introduced his girlfriend. Literally right after we sat down and my wife introduced herself to my brother's girlfriend, she made a joke about her accent. I, of course, told her to cut it out, but around 10 minutes later, she started mocking my wife's accent again. After seeing how hurt my wife looked by the jokes, I was absolutely livid and told my brother's girlfriend that she needed to leave. My brother said that they have been driving for a while, they're hungry and tired, and that I should be more reasonable. I told him that he could leave with her if she wants. His girlfriend called me an asshole and went to their car. Not making my daughter rehire our neighbor to her small business. My 12-year-old daughter started a small business with money she'd saved up and even hired a few kids from the neighborhood to work with her. One of the neighborhood kids she hired wasn't doing good work, so she ended up firing them. I stayed out of it. The mother of the child my daughter let go contacted me and said her child was feeling left out now that they couldn't participate in the business and asked me to instruct my daughter to rehire them. I explained that I'm really not involved in the business at all, so I didn't feel right doing that. She said that that's all well and good to stand back to an extent, but when it gets to the point that it's exclusionary, it's my responsibility to step in as the parent, because now her child's feelings have been hurt, and that's more important than how lucrative my daughter's business is or is not. I told her I couldn't help. She was pretty flustered and said that I could help, but I was choosing not to. It got to a point that I more or less had to ask her to leave my house. I see both sides and worry that I was harsh in what I said to her, or should have given her concerns a longer hearing. But I don't know what else I could have said or not said to her. Am I wrong for refusing to intervene?